Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you on just another Picture Perfect Thursday afternoon. It's become the norm. We love that. Summer is here in South Florida, but just another great week. Looks like it's on tap. Beautiful scenery there. Fast main track, firm turf course. Of course, the Tapeta in play as well. About 55 minutes until the opener. The Rainbow Six paid out on Sunday. Congratulations to anybody that had that ticket there. But what that means today is we will start anew, and as we say each and every day when we kind of get going with the Rainbow, it's going to grow quickly, and these are great opportunities to get involved, because on days like this when the pool is still in its infancy, it doesn't take a lot to have a chance to sweep this thing. You get a price or you get a couple, strong favorites beaten, and kind of anything goes. So that's going to kick off today. 9-race Thursday card. That'll be in race number 4 with your Rainbow starting fresh. But the early pick 5 is going to get going in about 54 minutes. We're going to kick it off with the 2-year-old fillies in the spotlight, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at my ticket now. I've got a $32 early pick 5 play. We'll use 4 of them here in race number 1. Race 2, we're on the turf. The 5, Ben T on top for me. Lisa Lewis. You can see race 3. I've got the single of the 5, and that is Grand Sticker. Race number 4, we'll go 4 deep in that spot. I've got the 4, Peace Not War on top, and in race number 5, I've got the 1, I Have Issues, and that's my best bet. Maybe a little bit of a bold one for Kent Sweezy on a speed play, trying to get that one loose in there. $32 early pick 5 ticket. We'll get to the opening leg now, and as I mentioned, the 2-year-old fillies will go at it here at 4.5 furlongs, a fast main track. We do have a scratch of the 1, Shabalita, as well as the 5, Make Your Wish. And I was mentioned I'm going to use 4 of them here. Strong favorite in the 8, Drama, but I'm going to show you why in a second I'm going against that one. I've got the Shady Brook Homebred on top, the 7, If You Said So, for Mike Yates. Mike's been quiet at the Royal Palm meet, but this is a very prolific first-time out barn. Was able to find some AM activity for this Daughter of Cajun Breeze as well, and we all know Mike does so well with these Cajun Breezes, and this is the 9th foal out of this dam. This is a foal to several horses who have won a lot of money. 4 of the foals that have hit the track have won over $150,000, a few over $250,000. You can see a very, very fast Daughter of Cajun Breeze from the gate. Tiny little thing. She's got some zip to her. I like this work. She's on the inside, and she is moving right along. And don't forget, too, this is a short stretch finish line race at 4.5 furlongs. I like the speed in the gate drill here. She's going to be quick, and you need to be quick at this kind of distance. And if you can break running and you can get to the top, you're in a good spot, because, again, like we talk about this a lot during the championship meet when you talk about races like the Holy Bull and the Fountain of Youth. It's a quick run to the first wire, and that's a big advantage to have the speed. Here's Drama now, and I know it's Carlos David. I know it's Arundel, and Edgard is here as well. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry, I can't get involved here at another short price. You have to win, period. This is at 4.5, and she's going to get run down by a 14-1, just real outsider for the Hernandez barn. And I don't want to beat up a horse that finishes a neck behind. You got to see this out at 1-5. I'm sorry. And now, 3rd start already. Again, potent connections here, but that just kind of leaves, we're gambling here, and that just leaves a bad taste in the mouth when you can't get it done at 1-5, and they're going to hammer her again very early in the betting. She's sitting up there at 6-5. The 2 is mine. Well, let's go to the 4. Dakota's Little Aura for Herb Miller here. I like that gate drill, 36 flat, 5th out of 43. So she might have a little zip here as well. In the 2, Mine Strike, $9,500 Daughter of Tom's D'Etat, a mineshaft mare on the bottom. I think we're going to want a little more distance, right? So let's check her out in the paddock, 2-1, very early in the betting. Watch the tote. They tend to tell you the right way on the David runners. Early pick 4 in race number 2. We're on the turf. Take note, the rails are out at 66 feet. It's a 17.5 maiden claimer here. We do have a scratch of the 3 Channel's Daughter. The 13 Terry T is scratched as well. The 14 I Love Ireland long shot draws in Jonathan Ocasio we'll ride the 4 Power Party. And these are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up at a mile. Again, the rail's out at 66 feet. We've talked about it time and time again. That is a problem if you don't have speed. That is a problem if you're on the outside. Samantha sent in an early pick 4 ticket. We'll take a look at that now. $18 for her. This is interesting. I don't have the 6 or the 9 in first or second. She has neither. She has the 12 in third. I've got the 12 in second. You can see her 3 deep in race 3. No singles for Samantha. That's kind of rare. 5, 6 in race 4. I think that's going to get you through that race. And in race number 5, she's got my horse. Okay, I have issues. And she also has the 6, and that is Derby Hangover. No morning line favorite for her in the 8 Roxy on an $18 early 4 ticket. Let's get back into this one. Again, on the turf here at a mile. I'm on the 5, and I wanted to keep this in a little bit because Ben T draws well. Lisa Lewis taking over for Christophe Clement, who sadly passed away on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about more of that in the lightning round. Very, very big loss for the whole entire horse racing community. Ben T now is going to put blinkers on. Lisa Lewis, had taken over some of these horses. You see trainer switches to Lisa in the past, and she knows what she's doing. She's a very, very sharp trainer. She's not going to saddle a lot of horses. Ben T back on the turf on a bit of a drop, I think, is significant. The other thing that I think is significant is your 9-5 morning line favorite. That's the 12 D'Argento Bolt. Is out in the parking lot. This is just such a tough post position. Edgard's going to get aboard. We're off the claim for Safi on May 28th. He grabbed her for a quarter. She's going to come back for the first time on May 29th. I think I said March 28th is when he claimed her. 2 months off. Maybe he just backed off. Maybe he freshened her up a little bit. Edgard, the best turf rider we have, he's going to need every bit of that moxie to get a trip from the 12 hole with the rails at 59 feet. The 6 Charity First is interesting to me. First time for Abreu, has not been out since August 2nd of 2023. Yikes. Maiden special weight New York breds at Belmont and at Saratoga. We come back with Lasix today. Let's go to race number 3. We're at a $170 on the Tapeta here. These are 12-5 2Ls, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. It's a clean field of 7. I'm on the 5 here, grand sticker for Barboza. I played this horse last time. Oh boy, she stunk. Now, I don't know if it was the big aggressive class rise. I don't know if she just kind of bounced off 2 really big wins, big efforts. Those were 3-year-olds. Now she's in against older company. But that great Shashi Zuchera race, I think that race plays. I think that's a good group that she got beaten up by last time. You want to go back and watch her Tapeta maiden claiming win on April 5th. It was a sight to behold. Now, obviously, nothing was behind her, but she did it the right way. I'm going to give her one more chance today. The 2 is My Happy Holiday. Has been in good form for Dante Zanelli, picking up some pieces underneath. 1 for 20. Now, that's a problem. And that's primarily because of her running style, and she wants to come from the back. But how about Chris Elliott? Was here last week for a day. Won 2 races. The 5-pound apprentice, the son of Stuart Elliott, knows what he's doing. I'm very, very impressed. Samantha spoke very highly of him, had seen him do some good work up in New York and in the Mid-Atlantic. I was not familiar with him. He came down here and immediately made a big dent. Looking forward to seeing him back today as well. Let's show you the 1 Edge of Freedom in the 4 Trumpetta. I've got Evanora in the mix. I want to show this replay, though. This is Edge of Freedom's, thanks, Bob, maiden win. Now, actually, she beat Trumpetta. Watch this loop job. This is very, very impressive. Basically going from last all the way to first on an absolute power move for Edgar Perez. He was kind of basically pot committed, and I think probably he made the lead maybe even earlier than he anticipated. So now he's already there. Obviously, he's got to go, and this is not easy to see it out after looping the entirety of the field. But to her credit, Edge of Freedom does do it. Trumpetta's charging, and this is a good effort by her, and she actually came back to dominate maiden claimers. So this kind of stands with Edge of Freedom. It was a very, we don't like to get into figures too much on the Tapeta. It was a wildly slow race, even for that level, even for the bottom. It was for Brian Lynch as well. Mike Lerman is going to take over today. Mike does such a good job But I think she was flattered by the fact Trumpetta comes back to win. They're a little bit underneath for me. Trumpetta's the one I wanted if I wanted anybody. But if you see on my tickets, I didn't want either of them, to be honest with you, because they're both facing winners today for the first time. And I think the winners, you talk about a horse like Evanora, obviously Grand Sticker, and then My Happy Holiday as well. I think they're a little above what Edge of Freedom and Trumpetta's doing in the maiden claiming ranks. Okay, 3 down, 6 to go here. Ronnie will be back with us tomorrow, but he's got I've got the Rainbow today, subbing for him. So we'll take a break, and then we'll run through that Rainbow. Pool starts anew today in race 4.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you as we kick off another 4-day race week here during the Royal Palm Meet. Rainbow 6, as I mentioned before the break, it was a mandatory Sunday. Hey, thanks to everybody, too, by the way. They put in over $900,000 of new money above and beyond what we were hopeful for. So thanks to everybody who fired on Sunday. But come on back today because the pool's going to start fresh today. Typically on days like this, we get about $60,000 or so. Let's take a look at my ticket now. I think it was 48.80 and 48 even, excuse me, thanks to the boys upstairs, Robles and the crew. So here we go, 4 deep in race 4. I've got the best bet, and this is a pretty aggressive one. I think I have issues in race number 5. Maybe we get a little value there. Race 6 will go 3 deep, the 7, and that is Dreams of My Father on top. Race 7 is the spread. It's my long shot with the 2 Super Dessert. Going to try to get this Cassie Barn going a little bit. Race number 8, I have got the 8 single in there. I think that's a good spot for Calic on a steep drop for D'Angelo. In race number 9, we're going to go 4 deep in that spot. Sticky McSchnickens off the maiden win last time, that he was a lot better than really a 2-length victory kind of shows in your racing form. So we'll come back to him. He finally broke through. That's a $48 Rainbow 6 ticket, and I'm going to tell you what, it's not an easy sequence today. Would not shock me in the least if we get to race number 9 and see some singles looking to sweep that pool. Let's get to it, though, in the start. Fun one here in the race number 4. 6.5 furlongs on a fast main track. These are $25,000 claimers, 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 or a race since November 29th of last year. And I'm on a fresh new face in here. Gerald Bennett, Tampa now has closed, and the Bennett barn comes over here each and every late spring, early summer, and wins races, and wins a pretty significant amount of races as well. Peace Not War has been routing on the turf and routing on the dirt over at Tampa, and the form has been pretty solid, actually. Not really winning. It took a 2L back in December on the grass to win, but I like the dirt off the turf race on March 5th. There's plenty of speed in here. I don't trust some of the favorites in here. Typically, we should get some value on this barn as well. And I love horses with a lot of foundation cutting back to 1 turn, especially the trickier distances like a 6.5 or a 7, and we get 6.5 today. Peace Not War on top. Listen, the race goes through Gatsby. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The Arundel Homebred did everything but win last time, and let's take a look at the effort. You just have to wonder. Now, I like what Carlos David has done here. Freshened up Gatsby. What a cool old dude he is. $436,000 in the kitty he's earned for Arundel. How hard did he run here? Every step of the way he's dueling. 23 flat. They pick it up and go 22-3 the second quarter. He basically fried Pure Class, and no pun intended, Pure Class is going to win this race because of his class for Dave Fox and the lead longs. But Gatsby just, oh my goodness, he does everything but win. And I like what David did here, freshen him up, because you'd have to think now if he runs him back a month later, he's going to get completely burnt out. He does, oh, he's fighting. So this is a terrible beat, by the way. But I like the freshening. I just thought there was other speed in here. He did draw well. Here's the other thing, too. It's been a lot of times between drinks for Gatsby. I don't have a win on my page. I don't see a win until 2023. It's been a long time for Gatsby at a short number. I'm going to play against him. I think this 6 Alaric is interesting. It's good to see Amador Sanchez get going again. This is a sharp, sharp barn. We knew it was just a matter of time as he kind of gets some new clients. And, you know, here's a real wild card, a Chilean bred that has not been out since February in Chile. We don't know anything about those races. They're not even stakes races or cheap handicap races. Lasix and blinkers go on today, and I like the fact that he's got his guy Marcos Meneses. The stats are starting to prove it a little bit more, because they're winning together. They used to be potent together when Amador was rolling, and the barn's gotten hot. I think this horse is interesting, and I think this is a tote board kind of horse. Check it out and see if he's live. If he is and he's taking money, I think he's dangerous. The 2 is Arrogancy. Kathleen O'Connell off the claim. Boy, was he game last time. Albeit a 4-horse field where he got all the best of it, drawing outside the other 3. But he was game. Practico won on the big drop the other day, and he ran in fast time, too. Arrogancy now, a horse that just was refused to win races, has now won 2 out of his last 3. And Kathleen doesn't claim a lot, and it's only 0 for 11. I don't care about that. I like the fact that one of the best women trainers of all time, she was the leader not too long ago, reaches in for a claim. That's something she doesn't do all that often. Late pick 5 kicks in race number 5. We're on the Tapeta here at 5. $35,000 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. It's a clean 9-pack. Samantha's on this ticket. Let's see what she's doing here. As I mentioned, my best bet is the 1, and she's got I Have Issues on her short list. You can see in race 6, she singled to the 7, and that is Dreams of My Father. Race number 7 and race number 9, she's 4 deep. I like that because they were my spread races as well. And in race number 8, she has got Carrington. Interesting. Carrington back here on the turf. She's got that one singled for Rohan Crichton on what is a $16 late pick 5 ticket. We'll start it off here in race number 5, and I mentioned my best bet of the day. It's kind of a little bit of a bold one, because the 1 I Have Issues has never been on Tapeta, but Ken Sweezy is sharp. He's going to take over for Owen Hardy, this Bridlewood homebred that was over at Tampa for the winter. Has never tried Tapeta. I like this bullet at Palm Meadows on May 18th that Kent put into her, 35-3, a daughter of Authentic. I'm hoping Jose Morelos is on a send mission. I think we can clear here. Nobody else is blazing fast in the afternoon, and there's more than a few in here that don't have speed at all. I think that's going to play well for I Have Issues. I love seeing Jose get mounts for live barns like this because, boy, young rider with always a smile on his face has turned the corner and has really raised his game, and I think now he's in the upper echelon of what we have here in the summer, and he's a hard-working young kid. It's great to see. The 8 is Roxy, and here's your morning line favorite. For Carlos David and Brian Cohen of Arundel, and Edgard's here. I get all of it, right? But 2-1, 5-2, 2-1, and we can't get the job done. And quite honestly, never really been that close to getting the job done. So you're going to take another short price today. She did face older horses for the first time last time, and she ran very nicely. She's facing a lot of 3-year-olds today. There are older horses in here, but she's predominantly facing 3-year-olds. The race last time was solid, but at 2-1, maybe you just expected a little more from her. I think she's an A if you're playing horizontals. I wouldn't want to take a short number with her on top again. Derby Hangover's a 6 for Fox. Real tough ask here. She has not been out since March 13th of last year. So the layoff now is 14 and a half months. But how about the stats for Dave? And he's taken over for Patrick B. and Cone. Her 2 Tapeta races were pretty solid. Dave is 25%. That is 7 for 28. First time in the barn. And he's 4 for 12 off this elongated layoff. So Derby Hangover, expect her to be live today. I like that Tapeta drill on May 18th as well. Let's go to the late pick 4 in race number 6. We're at a flat one-turn mile here, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Your tag is $8,000. The biggest scratch of the day comes right here. The 5, Ruler of the Universe at 8-5 on the morning line, is out of this race for Safi, Ken Ramsey, and Edgard. I think it really widens this race. We probably will have a decisive favorite now in the 4, High Prince, but I'm going to look elsewhere. Dreams of My Father, I always did have on top. Now we get Yolbert Torres, who's won a couple races of late. That's very, very good to see. He is going to get upwards of 15 pounds from some of these runners in here. 3-year-old son, 1,000 words, who was bouncing around between Gulfstream and Tampa this winter for Jose D'Angelo, is facing older horses for the first time. The Tampa work on the turf was okay. The Gulfstream work on the turf was okay. I think the drop is significant here. Certainly the scratch is huge as well. So Dreams of My Father on top for me. High Prince, I mean, that was a tour de force last time for Barboza. I just want to backtrack for a second. Now, the Dreams of My Father is going to try a stretch on the main track for the first time. I think he's a better horse now than he was on the dirt in his debut. He's also with D'Angelo now, so look for him to wake up. I love the weight break here too. High Prince, it's right there in front of you. I mean, this is Samantha's Angle. Here's a horse doing pretty much nothing on the turf and on the Tapeta, kind of treading water, stuck in neutral. Boom, right to the main track, a bang-up second, 2 starts back, and a dominant win over 12.5s last time at 70 cents on the dollar. He'll be a short number in here as well as the 7. I think that gets you out of the race. Kosher Capone is okay. He ran fine on the main track. I don't really trust him, but that wasn't a bad effort on the main track last time, and it was his first time over the main track in a bit. Maybe he moves forward off of it for Angel Rodriguez. Let's go to race number 7 now. It's a maiden special weight on the Tapeta here. These are 3-year-old fillies. Just the 3-year-old fillies go at it. It's a clean field of 9. I'm on the 2 Super Dessert. It's my long shot. You know, I think we can all just, it's a statement of fact that Cassie Martin has struggled to get wins, okay? To get wins. But then you see at 66 starts, 18 of these horses have hit the board. So it's not like 3 for 66 or 2 seconds and a third. The horses are running well. They're not winning. They're making dents. They're not winning. It's going to turn sooner or later. We're talking about a Hall of Fame barn here that is just, won countless races in every summer here as well. So it's going to turn sooner than later, and maybe I'm going to try to get ahead of the curve a little bit. I picked them in a spot or 2 on Saturday as well. Super Dessert is interesting, and this is my long shot. They bet this Daughter of Not This Time down to 5-2 on debut. I don't know, maybe they come back to her a little bit here. Live Oak Homebred by Not This Time out of a Candy Ride mare. What do I like? 2 different things. Chased and Tired on debut at a Rata Ground. We know how difficult it is to win 2 turns on debut. The other thing I like what the barn has done since that debut on April 5th, so she enters a little bit fresh. I love that 5-furlong drill. 59-4 over the Tapeta. Yeah, they all work fast in the morning. We know that, but this is going to have her sharp because this cutback can be aggressive. When you're going 8.5 on debut and you're cutting back to 5.5, it can be very, very aggressive. And it looks like they asked her for some speed on May 18th. I'm going to try to get the barn going a little bit. She should be, I hope, knock on wood, a square price in here because I wouldn't want to take too short of a number, too underlaid of a number, but I'm going to put her on top. She is my long shot. The 8 is Brisa Veloz for Safi. We're going to sprint on Tapeta for the first time, and I think that's significant because she tried to get loose and wire on Tapeta back in January. Well, that didn't work. I don't know how good she is, to be perfectly honest with you, but what I will say is her 3 races were during the championship meet. She wasn't bet in any of them, but I like the freshening for sure for Safi and Bob Edwards of E5 and Edgard. The other thing I like too, they're not giving her away. They're not willing to lose her for a tag yet. They paid $450 for a Daughter of Munnings. Nice pedigree here. Yeah, she didn't fire in any of those 3 starts. She's still in a maiden special weight today. I like that. They still feel some confidence. Let's take a look at Love Actually last 2 starts back because this was the Tapeta race. State Breds. How about Joe Orsino. Who's better than Joe right now, huh? Come on, he's having a phenomenal meet. I know she was 3-5. I know she was on the outside here, but Greenfield Cougar was good in this spot. They kind of threw down basically from the get-go, and this was a good effort. And Greenfield Cougar couldn't see it out in a route of ground in her next start, but I thought this was a good effort. Love actually now back sprinting. At least that's why she's your morning line favorite in a race that is very, very difficult. And like you saw in my tickets, I'm going to spread very deep here. The 6, a great date for D'Angelo, cutting back off a turf route. The 5, Valiant Hope for Eddie Plesa Jr. She's got speed as well. A lot of different ways you can go in race number 7. Let's get to race 8. On the turf here in a $25,000 claimer. These are 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 or a race since 11/29. We're kind of fitting that into the book a little bit here. Scratch the 1, Hearts Beat Like Thunder. Scratch the 3, Speed Runner as well. And it's not going to hurt Calic that he gets to move 2 slots in, and he's so much the horse to beat. You know, he hasn't done a lot of running in the last 2 starts. Look at the groups he's been in against during the thick of the championship meet. The real good run was back on Pegasus Day, January 25th, behind a former Pegasus Turf winner in a Tone. Seminole Chief actually just ran in the Grade 1 out at Del Mar for Jack Sisterson, and that was Santa Anita, excuse me, and he came back and won a stakes here in his next start. So the form here is against tons better. This is the proper spot. It's time to get a W with the 8 Calic. The other big threat is because Samburu is a big class dropper. Now, he doesn't want to win races. That's a statement of fact. I mean, he's gone 2 years now without it, 0 for 14 the last 2 years in counting, but he's also now finally at a more proper level. Narvaez claimed him 3 starts back and ran him way over his head. He's now with Jose Castro. We've seen this barn take over a lot of the Narvaez horses. He's where he's supposed to be. You're allowed to wonder what's left in the tank, though. The 5 is Bold and Breezy. Liz Doble's off a claim, off a dominant Tapeta win. Hey, this is not a bad group to step up with. Once on the turf, Liz claims this horse. This was a stakes race at Tampa against 3-year-olds. Claims them, boom, right back on turf. Maybe she sees something here. The 6 was looked like Samantha's single, Carentan, and I'm wondering if she's as much against the 2 and the 8 as she likes the 6. Turf race last time, it was okay at 47-1 at a big number. I personally prefer this horse on Tapeta, but Rohan's going to try him on turf again. A little bit of a drop here as well. Maybe that helps too. Didn't run poorly last time at all. Race number 9 goes 5.5 on the Tapeta. It's a state-bred optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. 5.5 on the Tapeta. There's no changes other than the 2 Tigre is going to wear a bar shoe in behind, plus the bar shoe there, okay? Also, some big news here. The Super High 5 in the last race has a carryover of over $15,000. That'll be a massive pool. So check that out and get involved in that. I'm on the 3 Sticky McSchnickens. Let's get him back here to the winner's circle off a maiden special weight win last time. I want to show you how good he was. He won by 2. The form doesn't really show it. Look how tight he is here on the inside. It doesn't mention this at all. He's not necessarily going to check, but he doesn't have room to sift through, and he's going to have to go back a little bit. It's not a great spot to be in general on the Tapeta, and Lionel's just kind of waiting for the seam here. He finally gets it here, and he's going to poke out, and he's going to win for fun. And this is a horse that struggled getting over the hump, and I picked him many times. Of course, I didn't have him in this spot at 11-10, but that was a good effort right there. It's tough to face winners. I understand that, but I like what he did there, and I think he's coming in with confidence at an absolute all-time high. I'll come back with him. Let's show you the 1 Sneaky. Laura Cesaris, what a good meet she's had at 5 for 18 here, and this is a blast-off here for Dave Brady, and this is a great claim by Laura because this is a 2-time winner now, and watch Sneaky, the 6 horse, just roll right up and just laugh at this field here. Going to win off by 4 3/4 lengths. I love the fact that Amicio is going to ride back. This is a barn that doesn't claim a lot of horses, but she is very, very good at these sprints, turf or Tapeta. And this looks like a real good claim here because Sneaky and a demolition job there. The rail's a little tricky. I worry about that, but he hits hard right back. He's your morning line favorite at 7-2. You could literally make a case for about 5 different horses to be favored in this race. The point is, what a betting race if that's your 7-2 favorite. What a super high 5 race as well. The 9 is Coercive on the outside. Good second last time when we saw him on March 13th in the thick of the championship meet. Had some trouble that day as well. You get Orsino, you get Zayas teaming up. Boy, again, the barn going so well. The 7 is Macor, another maiden claimer win. Easy last time for Abreu off a layoff too. Depth in this race is phenomenal. That's the 9-pack for you here to kick off another 4-day race week. We'll take a look at the lightning round as we do each and every Thursday. We start it with the standings, and Edgar Zayas is on top of the standings. We kind of knew that, but Amicio's having a very good meet, just 5 behind and making Edgar earn it. Love seeing Jose Morelos up there in third. Paco will drop back and off with him rolling at Monmouth, and Edwin Gonzalez doing his thing. Very, very solid on a day-in, day-out basis. Trainer standings are fun, though. I typed this out and sent it to the boys, and then I had to go back and make sure, and lo and behold, we got a 3-way tie here as Jose and Carlos David have reached Safi Joseph Jr. Safi bopping around in Saratoga as he readies White Barrio for the Grade 1 Met Mile, and what a throwdown that's going to be on next Saturday on Belmont Day at Saratoga with Fierceness, the Curlin Florida Derby winner, up there as well. That is going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that next week, likely in our podcast. So there you go. And gold is oh yeah, that's right. I did this, by the way, and I had no idea what that was. Faked myself out. How about Skippy Longstocking? What a cool dude. And if you read Safi's quotes, I think he said it picked perfect. He said, I don't think he gets the respect he deserves because he hasn't won a Grade 1 race. He's got like $3.6 million in the bank, Skippy Longstocking. He was third in the Pegasus this year. He goes out and wins the historic Hollywood Gold Cup at Santa Anita. Just a cool dude. He reminds me of Skipaway, and I'm certainly not comparing him to one of the all-time greats and one of my favorite horses of all time. The point is, he dances every dance. He's here, there, everywhere. What a campaigner he has proven to be for Safi, who has managed him so well. It's great to see him. It's great to see him do that. My best bet of the day, kind of a bold one maybe in race number 5. That's the one I have issues. My long shot is for Team Cassie on the Tapeta sprinting in race 7. That is a 2 Super Dessert. And, we ended with a very sad and somber note on Sunday because it was kind of late breaking, the passing of Christophe Clement at 59 years old. And, that was a sad day, and I think a lot of people were devastated by that, quite honestly. Kind of maybe came out of the blue. We knew he had been battling some health issues. But, that was Sunday, and everybody certainly paid all their respects. So I think it's now, with the days that have gone by, I think it's a great time to look back on just exactly what a real historic career this Christophe had. Has been training here. We've known him so well. Here's his first Breeders' Cup win with those Bobby Flay Silks of Pizza Bianca. I think Jose Ortiz delivered an awesome ride here as well. And Del Mar in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. And Christophe had been knocking at the door for the Breeders' Cup quite some time. And here's Tonalist upsetting California Chrome, denying him in the Belmont and Tonalist at 14-1. And I think this is a testament. We all think of Christophe as a turf trainer, and he won so many graded stakes races down here at Gulfstream Park and gone way too soon at 59. But I think that Tonalist winning the Belmont, at 1.5 miles, obviously, on the dirt, just shows the versatility he had one of my favorite horses, Dynaver, back in the day that made some dents as an underrated dirt 3 and 4-year-old. But he won the Orchid 6 of 11 years here at Gulfstream between 1994 and 2004, including 4 in a row. He won the Gulfstream Park Turf, which is, of course, now the Pegasus World Cup Turf. That's a Grade 1. The McKnight at the Bougainvillea, just the Pan Am. There's so many turf races. I think we all have a story. I met him a long time ago, and saw some stories out there that he wanted to know about you. You wanted to know from him, but he wanted to know about you, and he was that type of guy. So it's a real devastating loss to the racing community, and of course our thoughts and prayers go out with his family as well. But celebrate the life of a true horseman. So thoughts and prayers, and rest in peace, Christophe Clement.